So earlier this month, the streamer Ludwig announced that he donated $10,000 to Palestine. So why am I talking about it? How is that drama? Well, it became drama when pro-Palestinian Twitch streamer Frogan expressed her disappointment towards Ludwig in this sarcastic tweet that says, "Not gonna do charity for Palestine because some of my chatters might be Zionist. Sorry." She also gave a genuine reaction to Ludwig's donation in this clip from her live stream.
I find ultimately, like, if I were to do a charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations, it should be something where, like, 95% of people feel good and are down for it. And, like, ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is not the situation here. So I personally donated 10K. Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Between, like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Take. Hey, I know Arabs are dying, but, you know, I'm not going to tell you to donate. Do whatever you want. Interesting. I don't know. Like I said, thinking about it, like, think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine. Think about the Twitch streamers that haven't, or like streamers in general. We're gonna go to YouTube as well. YouTube and Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine until engagement was threatened. You know? But the ones that got the most shit for talking about Palestine since October 7th have been me, Caroline, Hasan. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Streamers that actually deserve to be fucking shit talked. Okay? Streamers that actually deserve to be shit talked. White saviors is like, oh, yeah, you know, me, I donated $10,000, but I'm not going to promote it. Just don't say you donated $10,000 then. Look, if you're not actively believing, if you don't believe in the cause, and if you're not against genocide at this point, like, keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000. Keep your little chump change. Like, the fuck? Do you want me to say, like, congratulations?
JStock quote tweets Frogan with this clip and says, "This racist dipshit is actually going after Ludwig for donating 10K to a Palestinian charity. Why attack him on the basis of race at all? We all know that Ludwig is corny and performative. Just say that next time." The idea that she might have just purity tested hundreds of Palestinians out of clean drinking water doesn't even cross her mind. She's lucky that Ludwig is the type of dude to donate another 10K after being called a cracker. Feebuck says, "Didn't a white streamer get banned for saying cracker before? Lol." Seven says, "Imagine being an unironic Frogan viewer." Daniel says, "Keep your 10K, keep your chump change." These people are so detached from reality. They don't care about Gaza at all. It's all a self-serving social event for them. That 10K matters. It's the difference between some Gazans having everything they need or not. Brandon reacts to the Frogan clip by saying, as she sits there with an emergency rent donation goal on her screen, "Is this real life?" XQC Reviews quote tweets JStock with this XQC clip and the caption, "He had me in the first half, not gonna lie, laughing my fucking ass off."
She should donate some of that money she spends on food.
Mods.
I found
Mods.
the prime button pog.
Mods. Mods.
Denims, Gremlow,
Give this guy VIP.
Mike from PA.
Could I get a
Drew Pavlo responds to JStock by saying, "This guy donated 10K to a Palestinian charity, and Hasan Piker producer Frogan calls him a cracker ass. Laughing my ass off, what a disgusting psycho." Caprice on Poppy reacts to Frogan's stream by saying, "The reason why the Ludwig clip is upsetting is not because he didn't donate enough money, or didn't do the watermelon charity stream. It's the last part he didn't join the charity stream, was so he doesn't upset those who to have mixed feelings about it, Zionists, in his community. Masterful Gambit responds by saying, he's not a political figure. He donated in accordance with his convictions, and made the gesture of publicly announcing it, and encouraging his fans to donate, which is about as much as we can expect from him. He shouldn't have said the rest, but there are way worse people out there. Brandon Taboy says, no, I don't think it's just Zionists. It's not that everyone agrees. His audience is diverse, and he wants to maintain his community regardless of what's going on in the world, and what side everyone's on. Andrast says, am I misinterpreting this, or did he say he'd only do charity streams for things 95% of his community is down for? The whole point of a charity stream is to bring awareness, and let people donate if they want. Seems very, I agree with you, but don't want to upset everyone, response. Redbeard Unleash says, he donated $10,000, asked his community to donate, and shouted out the charity. He just didn't want to be attached to the event. How is that not acceptable? Hasan Piker then gives his take on all of this during his live stream, which was clipped and posted by Livestream Fails with the caption, Hasan sides with his mod Frogan over insulting Ludwig.
Two wrongs don't make a right. He was bad and trying to appeal to everyone and not take a real solid stance, but Frogan should have called him that. No, I don't give a shit about like someone being called a cracker, okay? As someone who is white and has like used that word myself, I think that people that are using that to be like, this is a racial slur against white people is like fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, dude, Morgan is Lebanese.
Political streamer Destiny tweets out another Hasan clip and captions it by saying, Hasan is the only guy to lose arguments in the shower.
If that was such a genuine issue, if that was such a genuine problem, then people wouldn't be fucking calling themselves crackers, okay? And before you say, well, black people called themselves the N-word and one another the N-word, yes. And ultimately, there is still a difference, no matter how hard you try to debate, between the N-word, which you won't say, and the word cracker, which you will. Easily.
Willie Macshow reacts by saying, he never stops. I will truly be able to farm him forever. Citizen says, Hasan in a room by himself, sneezes, you could say bless you. I don't believe in God. Still. Slobodan says, when you do mental gymnastics but you just immediately break your neck. Ashkin says, let me undermine my own argument real quick. Caprice on Pappy then shows his old tweet and says, I spoke with Ludwig about this clip and he heard me out. I also listened to his rationale. I think that there is a misunderstanding / miscommunication that has been cleared up. He is an ally. I appreciate his openness to communicate honestly. The goal is to make allies better at being allies, not score points, so I am going to take the post down. I would feel stupid leaving it up when my point has been made and heard. Again, our message has been heard and received. Ben Shapiro's Bicep says, I was so worried he wouldn't pass the purity test. Thank God you're here. Ali El Dirazi says, wow, y'all are communicating like adults? Richard Rodriguez says, why wouldn't he be an ally if he donated? Plus, if he was giving into his Zionist audience, he would have never donated. Dillchill says, this gives me the ick. Like if he didn't pass your test, he is automatically against you. And then it's okay to harass him? About a week later, Frogan gets into more Twitter drama when drama YouTuber Stardust tweets out her video talking about this situation with Frogan. Frogan then quote tweets Stardust and says, Destiny's cummies dried up for her, laughing my ass off. Repsion responds by saying, you were absolutely gross and vitriolic. LEB says, what a gross thing to say about another woman. Do you have any principles? Cactus says, the lack of self-awareness is incredible. Omniwatcher says, you were known as a Hasan moderator first and foremost, laughing my ass off. Not any better. Dankstiny69420 says, the amount of irony with this tweet is insane. You were more known for being a Hasan mod than your content, Miss Falling Star. Stardust responds to Frogan by saying, you know, I honestly felt a tiny bit bad for making the video, but after this tweet, all sympathy went out the window. Gross. Lol. Greg Habit responds by saying, I felt bad going out of my way to be like this, but now that she retaliated my attack on her character, I feel vindicated. That's gross. Destiny responds to Frogan by saying, This is really fucking weird / gross. Cool that you were on the left. You were greenlit to make misogynistic comments, and death threats, and racist remarks, and whatever else you'd like, apparently. 0xPBIT says, most well-adjusted Hasan mod. Bat Skleemish says, this is the same chick who felt attacked when her therapist prefaced their first session by enclosing that she is Israeli, and asked if that would be a problem. Hint, it was. But then Frogan called it abuse. Quick TV says, once again, they don't actually believe in any of this. It's all just an excuse to justify dehumanizing the enemy and being a bully. They are bullies. Simple as. Frogan quote tweets Stardust and says, you've been up my ass for years now, laughing my ass off. Since you started orbiting Destiny in 2021, you are not a nice person like you were trying to portray yourself, laughing my ass off. Omniwatcher responds, she interacted with you like twice, Frogan, laughing my ass off. What are you yapping about? Brianna Wu says, Stardust is actually a very nice person, and unlike you, she's not a rabid anti-Semite. M60 says, there's probably been at least 10 videos made on your silly comments in the past week. The fact that you picked out this one that you haven't even seen yet says a lot about you. Not this 40 says, this is gross and borderline sexual harassment. Stardust quote tweets Frogan and says, I've interacted with you like twice. If you say stupid stuff publicly, me criticizing it isn't me being up your ass. Also, I've never said I was a nice person. Like, honestly, I've barely paid attention to her since 2021, except maybe the last few months. Asmongold comments on all of this on his live stream, which was clipped and posted by Livestream Fails on Twitter with the caption, Asmongold wonders why people make excuses for Frogan.
Frogan's a fucking idiot. Like, it's not even a question. She's a fucking moron. Like, okay, like, that's pretty easy to say, right? Yeah, it was stupid for her to say that. I don't know why she said that. That's dumb. And by the way, I don't know why Hasan makes excuses for it. I don't. It's so counterproductive. It helps no one. And all it does is, in my opinion, radicalize people against you.
Livestream Fails then shows a clip from the streamer Tectone with the caption, Tectone calls Frogan Jabba the Hutt and says she causes issues for no reason.
What is the point? Like, the only point of this is to farm outrage. Good God, fucking Jabba the Hutt just causing issues for no reason, man. Jesus Christ. Good God, fatty. Fucking going on the internet causing problems rather than going to fucking Total Gym. Get a fucking grip, you disgusting piece of shit.
JMac responds by saying, Rising Star Award, by the way. Sydney Rock says, I mean, he's out of line, but he's right. Tim says, so like outside Schlatt, Will Neff, and like Emeru, why is every member of OTK just being like straight up 4chan levels of terrible? Or should be on a list? The Ultimate Pie responds to Timothy by saying, so we shouldn't hate on a person who is openly racist live? Log 420 responds to Timothy by saying, no way a Hasan fan is talking. Binks responds to the clip by saying, don't say based, don't say based, don't say based, don't say based, don't say based. Jackie says, Tectone is a fat, nerd, bald, gooner, middle-aged, and funnily built man. What gives him the right to talk about others' appearance? Ren Nink says, has he looked in a mirror recently? Skelu says, I don't want to say there is an obvious problem in OTK, but there is an obvious problem in OTK. Asmon is clearly going down a pipeline, and Tectone seems to be going down with him, not to mention the many other controversies people in their collective have been in. Spark After Dark responds by saying, there's a huge problem with Hasan's mods as well. Skelu responds, someone will be talking about sliced bread, and y'all will bring up Hasan. Brett Hamilton says, didn't we establish this when they covered up sexual assault? Skelu responds, it's sad that there's multiple situations that come to mind when you said, covered up a sexual assault. Adibo says, I don't know why they won't do damage control. They don't understand this conflict. yet they continue commenting on it. Asmongold has been stupid for years, but why is Tectone doing this all of a sudden? Skelu responds, they are a bunch of streamers who started an organization. They don't know that this stuff will hurt them, or what damage control is. Denims quote tweets the Tectone clip with this article about him and says, yet another male victim of divorce court. Send your thoughts and prayers, everyone, so that he may recover one day. The headline of the article she shared says, we are not on good terms. Freem opens up about her ex-husband Tectone, says, some things shouldn't be used for content. Matt Hazel responds by saying, nothing like a woman siding with another woman, who was a cheater, stole, and is currently in the process of being sued / prison time, just to dunk on a man. You can't make this shit up. Context first, then try to say something. Denims responds with a cat image and says, I can dislike both people actually. Kyle responds by saying, what gets me is calling Frogan fat. Bro is a fat guy himself. Even worse, he's bald. L's all around. Denims responds, even worse is his addiction to gacha games. Inshallah he recovers. OTK then tweets out this clip and says, if you are mean to Tectone, just know this is who you're fighting.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Tectone responds, I've been hanging out with Asmon too much. And then OTK responds, it's all making sense, showing a picture of Asmongold in a cat maid outfit. I know I'm Angie says, I haven't watched this video and I don't know this man, but based on this tweet alone, I feel like not enough people are mean to him. JE says, good to know Tectone calling women fat / ugly as a clapback is just a silly little goofy joke. Nick says, being bald, divorced, and acting like this, maybe we should be more mean. Glad we are just okay with Islamophobia. Brent Hamilton quote tweets OTK and says, love that the largest org on Twitch is now condoning Islamophobic hate campaigns. Very fucking cool. Cog says, can you explain to me how this is Islamophobic? I genuinely don't understand. Weird? Absolutely, but I don't understand. Kingsley Brigade says, it's literally the fact that Frogan used racial slurs towards white people, and in response, Tectone called Frogan, who is a Muslim, fat. That's it. That's the drama. Doom Undefeated responds to Brent by saying, fat equals Islamophobic. Joseph Girl quote tweets OTK and says, someone rescue the decent people from this org and tear the rest of it down for good. This being their response to his recent misogyny is insane. John Willow says, misogyny is when you insult losers. Caseytron shows an image of Tectone, Asmongold, and Destiny, and captions it by saying, can someone please explain to me why men who look like this speak on any woman's appearance? It's Wills responds, for real. Like, I'm sensing a pattern. A male pattern. Baldness. Caseytron responds with 3 crying emojis. Joseph Girl responds to Casey by saying, depressed angry men turning to misogyny to feel better about themselves. A case study. Caseytron then responds with the gif of someone crying laughing. Sippy CVP says, no, seriously? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who's baffled by their hideousness. Caseytron responds, imagine the smell too. Spivvy says, I don't know who that first guy is, or what he did, so maybe that changes how I see him. But I don't think he looks as bad as those other guys laughing my ass off. Caseytron responds, he was calling Frogan Jabba the Hutt, completely unprovoked. F22 Tommy says, trying to insult Asmon's appearance is hilarious. He makes fun of himself, he doesn't hide anything, and still pulls 10 times the viewers. Why? Because people like him. Maybe clown makeup and 10-hour AFK streams of Desperate Housewives isn't the play. Caseytron responds, I don't consider his incel army of racist bigots to be people. John Willow responds with this picture of Caseytron and says, I agree that making fun of people's appearance is lame, but you literally did it to all these men first when you look like this, so you were mad at yourself for being a hypocrite? Simple Man says, you do realize you yourself are ugly and fat, right? Oofy quote tweets Caseytron and says, she says as she shames men for being bald, she just lets them live rent-free in her head 24/7. She's literally obsessed with Asmon, lol. Tectone quote tweets Caseytron with a picture of herself and a cartoon villain. The Metal Man responds, I apologize Techie, I was not familiar with your game. Livestream Fails then tweets out a new clip from Tectone with the caption, Tectone doubles down on his Frogan take.
Has gotten literally straight up like
Yep.
a 2-week long conquest of people calling her the worst shit possible,
Like what? Fat?
including but not limited to Tectone,
Deserved.
saying that Morgan looks like Jabba the Hutt while
She does. I actually have a great image just to describe that exact feeling, actually. She does. Okay, here we go. Okay, ready for this? I found the image right here. Yep. It's great. It's really fucking great, isn't it? Yeah. And it's deserved. And you want me to tell you why it's deserved? Somebody can change the fact that they're fucking fat. Someone can't change their race. And that's why if you have a problem with somebody body shaming you, then maybe don't race shame. And it's really not that hard. Don't dish out what you can't take back and shut the fuck up.
AI Emerald Apple says, based? We don't need any more crybullies. Jonah on YouTube says, no wonder Tectone's wife left him. He's an insufferable, insecure little man-child. Caprice and Pappy quote tweets Tectone's clip and says, hey Tectone, what race would you be right now if you could change? Would you be a little Gazan? You can be a little Palestinian like me, and I'll give you the Arab pass. 7 says, weirdo post. Casey Tron quote tweets Tectone's clip and says, guy who looks like a sex offender commenting on a woman's looks completely unprovoked. Damage Sector responds to Casey Tron with the clip of Frogan saying Ludwig had a cracker take and says, it wasn't unprovoked. People who talk like this have no sympathy from me when people talk bad about them. Casey Tron responds, what does it have to do with Tectone though? God, you incels are so fucking dumb. Big Brain Politics says, so you were just allowed to use racial slurs and can't get called out by anyone, right? Lipdeb says, I guess if someone is flinging slurs at somebody of your race, you were just supposed to not say anything about it if you take issue. Siamese says, you're fat. Corb says, what does any of this have to do with you? John Willow says, Frogan was literally attacking people's race completely unprovoked. You were offended by one, yet not the other. Weird. Wonder why. Tectone then quote tweets Casey Tron again with that same picture of her next to a different cartoon villain character. Ara says, for someone telling men to keep their opinions to themselves, she sure is terrible at taking her own advice. And that is about it for this discussion surrounding Frogan and Tectone. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comment section below. My opinion on this might not be the most objective, as I have my own negative opinions of Frogan prior to this drama that I talked about on my other channel that you can check out on the end card that should be on screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.